Welcome back to our chilling series exploring the most haunted places in each U.S. state, where history and horror intertwine in ways that defy explanation. In this fourth installment of Most Haunted Places in each U.S. state, we continue our journey across the nation, uncovering tales so spine-tingling they'll leave you questioning the boundaries between the living and the dead. From colonial mansions cloaked in tragedy to abandoned asylums frozen in time, every state holds its own spectral secrets. Stories whispered through creaking floorboards, flickering lights, and disembodied voices that drift through empty halls. Each haunted location we explore is more than just a site, it's a vessel carrying the echoes of lives lived and lost. These places bear witness to events that continue to reverberate through time, battles fought on sacred ground, unsolved murders cloaked in secrecy, and the lingering presence of those who refuse to move on. Whether you're drawn by morbid curiosity or an insatiable thirst for the supernatural, these destinations promise encounters that blur the line between reality and nightmare. In this episode, we'll delve into some of the most infamous haunted locales across multiple states, places steeped in lore and fear, where the past refuses to stay buried. We'll peer into the shadowy depths of haunted hotels, explore eerie mansions cloaked in mystery, and tread cautiously through abandoned institutions teeming with restless spirits. Along the way, we'll hear first-hand accounts from witnesses brave enough to confront the unknown, examine chilling evidence captured by paranormal investigators, and unravel the tragic histories that give rise to these hauntings. So dim the lights, keep your ears sharp, and prepare yourself for a descent into the macabre. As we step into the haunted heart of America, remember, sometimes, the most terrifying truths lie just beyond the veil, and once you cross it, there's no turning back. Alabama, the Sloss Furnaces, a forge of fire and fear nestled in the industrial heart of Birmingham, Alabama, the Sloss Furnaces stand as a monument to both progress and despair. A sprawling ironworks complex whose towering smokestacks and rusted machinery evoke images of a bygone era. Active from 1882 to 1971, the furnaces were instrumental in transforming Birmingham into the Pittsburgh of the South, producing thousands of tons of pig iron daily. Yet beneath its utilitarian facade lies a darker narrative, one marked by grueling labor, untimely deaths, and the vengeful spirits of those who perished within its fiery depths. One of the most enduring legends tied to the Sloss Furnaces revolves around James Slag Wormwood, a cruel foreman infamous for his disregard for worker safety. Tasked with overseeing the night shift, Wormwood pushed his men to work tirelessly in the scorching heat, often without proper protective gear. Historical records indicate that dozens of workers succumbed to injuries sustained in accidents or illnesses caused by prolonged exposure to toxic fumes. According to local lore, Wormwood himself met a gruesome end when he fell, or was pushed, into a vat of molten iron during one particularly volatile shift. Since then, visitors exploring the ruins report hearing faint screams and the clang of metal tools echoing through the cavernous space. Some claim to see a shadowy figure resembling Wormwood pacing anxiously near the blast furnaces, his form dissolving into mist when approached. Another prominent figure in the furnace's haunted lore is believed to be Theodore Ted Johnson, a young laborer who died in a catastrophic explosion in the early 1900s. Paranormal investigators exploring the property have captured EVP recordings suggesting the presence of a male entity whispering phrases like, "Help me," and "It burns." Witnesses describe seeing a translucent figure clutching his face, his features contorted in agony, before vanishing without a trace. Others report feeling sudden waves of intense heat wash over them, even though the furnaces have long ceased operation. The labyrinthine tunnels and catwalks of the Sloss Furnaces have also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the site often describe hearing muffled voices and the sound of footsteps echoing through the narrow passageways, though no one else is present. Objects are known to move inexplicably. Tools vanish only to reappear hours later in entirely different locations. One particularly unnerving incident involved a janitor who swore he saw a young boy playing with marbles in the corner of the room, only for the child to disappear when approached. Theories abound that the boy may have been a victim of illness or accident during the furnace's operational years, forever trapped in the confines of its lower levels. Modern-day investigations into the Sloss Furnace's supernatural claims have yielded intriguing results. Thermal imaging cameras reveal significant temperature drops in specific areas, including the main blast furnace and the basement. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique machinery pieces believed to have been used during production. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from audio recordings, which capture disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "I'm sorry," and "Let me go." Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Sloss Furnaces remain a popular destination for history enthusiasts and thrill-seekers alike. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to book a nighttime tour, the possibility of encountering Wormwood, Ted Johnson, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are ready to face the darkness that lingers within these walls, or will they become another chapter in the furnace's tragic tale. Alaska, the Captain Cook Hotel, a frozen legacy perched amidst the icy grandeur of Anchorage, Alaska. The Captain Cook Hotel stands as a beacon of modern luxury with a haunting legacy that dates back to its construction in 1965. Named after the famed British explorer, the hotel quickly became a hub for travelers, dignitaries, and adventurers seeking refuge from the unforgiving Alaskan wilderness. Its sleek architecture, panoramic views of the Chugach Mountains, and opulent interiors evoke a sense of timeless elegance, yet beneath its polished veneer lies a darker history steeped in betrayal, tragedy, and spectral encounters. One of the most iconic hauntings associated with the Captain Cook Hotel is that of room 736, said to be haunted by the spirit of a jilted lover named Elizabeth. According to local lore, Elizabeth checked into the hotel in the 1970s under the pretense of meeting her fiancé, only to discover he had abandoned her for another woman. Overcome with grief, she took her own life in the room, leaving behind a legacy of sorrow that continues to haunt visitors today. Guests staying in room 736 frequently report strange occurrences: lights turning on and off by themselves, radios tuning to static-filled stations, and the overwhelming scent of lilac lingering in the air. Some claim to wake up in the middle of the night to find their bedsheets tangled impossibly tight around their limbs, as if restrained by invisible hands. Another prominent figure in the hotel's haunted lore is believed to be none other than Captain James Cook himself, whose ghost is said to wander the upper floors, perpetually searching for the Northwest Passage. Visitors recount sightings of a tall, imposing man clad in period attire, pacing anxiously near the windows or sitting alone in the bar. His presence is often accompanied by the faint clinking of spurs and the smell of leather, as though he's preparing for one last voyage. Some speculate that Captain Cook lingers due to unfinished business, unable to part ways with the land he once explored. The hotel's basement, once used for storage and laundry operations, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the area describe hearing muffled voices and the sound of footsteps echoing through the narrow passageways, though no one else is present. Objects are known to move inexplicably. Tools vanish only to reappear hours later in entirely different locations. One particularly unnerving incident involved a janitor who swore he saw a young boy playing with marbles in the corner of the room, only for the child to disappear when approached. Theories abound that the boy may have been a victim of illness or accident during the hotel's early years, forever trapped in the confines of its lower levels. Modern-day investigations into the Captain Cook Hotel's supernatural claims have yielded intriguing results. Thermal imaging cameras reveal significant temperature drops in specific areas, including the 7th-floor hallway and the basement. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique furniture pieces believed to have belonged to original owners. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from audio recordings, which capture disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "I'm sorry," and "Let me go." Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted allure, the Captain Cook Hotel continues to draw visitors eager to immerse themselves in its storied past. For those brave enough to book a stay, the opportunity to encounter Elizabeth, Captain Cook, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Whether you're drawn by the allure of its architectural splendor or the thrill of peeling back the layers of its enigmatic history. Arizona. The Jerome Grand Hotel. Shadows of the mining boom perched atop Cleopatra Hill in the ghost town of Jerome, Arizona. The Jerome Grand Hotel stands as a testament to the boom and bust cycle of the American West, a majestic structure built in 1926 that once served as a hospital catering to miners and their families. Its sweeping views of the Verde Valley and rugged red rock formations evoke a sense of awe, yet beneath its elegant facade lies a darker narrative, one marked by disease, violence, and the vengeful spirits of those who perished within its walls. One of the most pervasive legends tied to the Jerome Grand Hotel centers around room 325, said to be haunted by the spirit of a nurse named Emily Carter. According to historical accounts, Emily worked tirelessly during the Great Depression, caring for patients afflicted with tuberculosis and silicosis, ailments rampant among miners. Her dedication came at a cost. She contracted tuberculosis herself and died shortly thereafter. Decades later, visitors exploring the hotel report hearing faint whispers and the sound of footsteps echoing through the corridor leading to room 325. Some claim to see a shadowy figure resembling Emily gliding silently through the halls, her translucent form illuminated by dim light. Others describe feeling an icy draft pass through them as she drifts by, while others report hearing soft humming emanating from empty rooms, believed to be Emily tending to patients long gone. Another haunting figure associated with the Jerome Grand Hotel is believed to be John Langston, a miner who died in a catastrophic cave-in at the nearby United Verde mine. According to local lore, John was rushed to the hospital but succumbed to his injuries despite the efforts of the medical staff. His ghost is said to wander the third floor, his ethereal form clad in dusty overalls. Guests visiting the hotel have reported seeing a pale figure pacing restlessly near the staircase, his expression frozen in eternal anguish. Others describe hearing the faint clinking of pickaxes and the rustle of fabric, as though someone is preparing for another shift underground. The hotel's basement, once used for storage and morgue operations, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the area describe hearing chains rattling and heavy footsteps echoing through the cavernous space, though no one else is present. Some claim to see shadowy figures dragging invisible loads, their movements jerky and unnatural. A particularly chilling account comes from a maintenance worker who swore he felt cold metal cuffs snap around his wrists, pulling him backward toward the darkness before releasing him abruptly. Paranormal investigators exploring the Jerome Grand Hotel have documented numerous instances of unexplained phenomena. EMF detectors routinely spike in certain areas, particularly near the former operating rooms and the morgue. EVP recordings capture faint whispers pleading for help, interspersed with anguished cries. One investigator captured a chilling photograph of a translucent figure standing in the doorway of the morgue, its hands raised as if begging for mercy. These findings have solidified the hotel's reputation as one of Arizona's most active haunted sites. Despite, or perhaps because of, its grim history, the Jerome Grand Hotel continues to attract curious souls eager to confront its spectral inhabitants. For many, visiting the site serves as both a pilgrimage and a reckoning, an opportunity to honor the lives lost and acknowledge the sacrifices made in pursuit of prosperity. Whether you're drawn by the allure of its haunting beauty or the weight of its tragic legacy, the Jerome Grand Hotel offers an unforgettable experience where the past refuses to fade quietly into oblivion. Arkansas. The Crescent Hotel. Elegance entangled with the supernatural nestled in the picturesque Ozark Mountains of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. The Crescent Hotel stands as a monument to both luxury and despair, a grand Victorian-era masterpiece whose opulent facade conceals decades of tragedy and supernatural activity. Built in 1886 during the height of the Gilded Age, the hotel quickly became a retreat for wealthy travelers, politicians, and socialites seeking relaxation amidst the natural beauty of Northwest Arkansas. With its sweeping staircases, crystal chandeliers, and panoramic views of the surrounding hills, the Crescent epitomized elegance and sophistication. Yet beneath its polished exterior lay a darker narrative, one marked by scandal, betrayal, and untimely deaths. One of the most enduring legends tied to the Crescent Hotel revolves around room 218, said to be haunted by the spirit of a jilted bride named Sarah. According to local lore, Sarah checked into the hotel in the late 1800s under the pretense of meeting her fiancé, only to discover he had abandoned her for another woman. Overcome with grief, she took her own life in the room, leaving behind a legacy of sorrow that continues to haunt visitors today. Guests staying in room 218 frequently report strange occurrences: lights turning on and off by themselves, radios tuning to static-filled stations, and the overwhelming scent of roses lingering in the air. Some claim to wake up in the middle of the night to find their bedsheets tangled impossibly tight around their limbs, as if restrained by invisible hands. Another prominent figure in the hotel's haunted lore is believed to be Dr. Norman Baker, a controversial quack physician who operated a fraudulent cancer clinic within the hotel during the 1930s. Baker claimed to cure terminal illnesses using unconventional methods, but his treatments were widely discredited as ineffective and dangerous. Paranormal investigators exploring the property have captured EVP recordings suggesting the presence of a male entity whispering phrases like, "Trust me," and "You'll be fine." Witnesses described seeing a shadowy figure resembling Baker pacing anxiously near the former clinic rooms, his form dissolving into mist when approached. The hotel's basement, once used for storage and morgue operations, has become a focal point of paranormal activity. Employees tasked with cleaning the area often describe hearing chains rattling and heavy footsteps echoing through the cavernous space, though no one else is present. Some claim to see shadowy figures dragging invisible loads, their movements jerky and unnatural. A particularly chilling account comes from a maintenance worker who swore he felt cold metal cuffs snap around his wrists, pulling him backward toward the darkness before releasing him abruptly. Overnight visitors to the Crescent Hotel frequently recount bizarre experiences that defy logical explanation. Lights flicker unpredictably, especially in hallways leading to the older sections of the building. Doors slam shut on their own, and the scent of cigar smoke wafts through the air despite the hotel's strict no-smoking policy. One guest described waking up to find his reflection in the mirror staring back at him, but not quite matching his movements, as if another entity stood behind him, mimicking his actions. Another recounted seeing a man in a dusty miner's outfit standing at the foot of her bed, his hollow eyes boring into hers before vanishing without a sound. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Crescent Hotel remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and thrill-seekers alike. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to book a stay, the possibility of encountering Sarah, Dr. Baker, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are ready to face the darkness that lingers within these walls, or will they become another chapter in the hotel's tragic tale. California, the Winchester Mystery House, a labyrinth of lost nestled in the heart of San Jose, California. The Winchester Mystery House stands as a monument to grief, superstition, and architectural eccentricity. A sprawling Victorian mansion built by Sarah Winchester, heir to the Winchester rifle fortune, over the course of 38 years. Begun in 1884 and continuously expanded until Sarah's death in 1922, the house is a maze of 160 rooms, staircases leading nowhere, doors opening into walls, and windows overlooking other rooms. Its labyrinthine design was allegedly inspired by Sarah's belief that she was haunted by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles, and that constant construction would appease them. Today, the house remains a chilling testament to her obsession, drawing visitors eager to uncover its secrets and confront its ghosts. One of the most pervasive legends tied to the Winchester Mystery House centers around the seance room, a small, windowless chamber located deep within the mansion. Historical accounts suggest that Sarah conducted nightly seances here, communicating with the spirits she believed haunted her. Visitors exploring the room report hearing faint whispers and the sound of furniture being moved, though no one else is present. Some claim to see a shadowy figure resembling Sarah sitting at the table, her head bowed in prayer or meditation, before vanishing without explanation. Others describe feeling an oppressive weight pressing down on them as they approach the room, as though unseen eyes are watching their every move. Another haunting figure associated with the Winchester Mystery House is believed to be none other than the vengeful spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. Paranormal investigators exploring the property have captured EVP recordings suggesting the presence of multiple entities whispering phrases like, "Why did you do this?" and "Make it stop." Witnesses describe seeing translucent figures wandering aimlessly through the halls, their faces obscured by darkness. Others report hearing disembodied voices calling out names unfamiliar to modern ears, believed to be the voices of soldiers, hunters, and civilians who fell victim to the deadly weapons. The house's basement, once used for storage and morgue operations, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the area describe hearing chains rattling and heavy footsteps echoing through the cavernous space, though no one else is present. Some claim to see shadowy figures dragging invisible loads, their movements jerky and unnatural. A particularly chilling account comes from a maintenance worker who swore he felt cold metal cuffs snap around his wrists, pulling him backward toward the darkness before releasing him abruptly. Modern-day investigations into the Winchester Mystery House's supernatural claims have yielded intriguing results. Thermal imaging cameras reveal significant temperature drops in specific areas, including the seance room and the basement. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique furniture pieces believed to have belonged to Sarah Winchester. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from audio recordings, which capture disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "I'm sorry," and "Let me go." Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Winchester Mystery House remains a popular destination for tourists and locals alike. Its picturesque setting and rich history make it a favorite spot for photography and leisurely strolls. For those brave enough to venture inside after dark, the promise of encountering Sarah Winchester or one of the countless other spirits said to linger adds an element of fascination and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor steps onto the creaking wooden floors, they must ask themselves, are they prepared to face the echoes of the past, or will they become another chapter in the mansion's macabre legacy? Patterns across America's haunted places, themes of tragedy and resilience as we traverse the haunted landscapes of America, from the opulent halls of the Captain Cook Hotel to the somber grounds of the Sloss Furnaces. Striking similarities emerge that transcend individual locations and histories. These patterns are not merely coincidental but reflect universal themes of human emotion, unresolved trauma, and the enduring power of memory. From the wailing wards of hospitals to the shadowed basements of monuments, these sites share a commonality that binds them together in a spectral sisterhood of sorrow and suspense. One recurring motif is the concept of unfinished business. Whether it's the victims of unethical experiments, or the betrayed trust of patients subjected to inhumane treatments, these spirits seem tethered to the earthly realm by grievances left unaddressed. Their presence manifests as restless energy, often communicated through auditory phenomena, cries, whispers, or disembodied voices, that serve as pleas for acknowledgement or closure. This theme resonates across cultures and belief systems, reflecting humanity's innate need to resolve conflict and seek peace, even in death. Another shared characteristic is the role of architecture in amplifying paranormal activity. Historic buildings, with their labyrinthine corridors, thick walls, and hidden alcoves, create environments conducive to isolating individuals and heightening fear. These structural elements act as metaphors for the psychological barriers erected by those who suffered within their confines, trapping emotions such as anger, despair, and regret. It's no coincidence that many reported hauntings occur in spaces imbued with emotional significance: operating rooms where surgeries went awry, basements where bodies were stored, or wards where patients met tragic ends. Lighting and sensory manipulation also feature prominently in these narratives. Flickering lights, sudden temperature drops, and inexplicable odors are staples of ghostly encounters, designed to disorient and unsettle. Such phenomena strip away the comfort of familiarity, forcing guests to confront the unknown. The use of mirrors, a recurring element in stories from various haunted hospitals, adds another layer of psychological tension, as reflections distort perception and blur the boundary between self and other. This interplay of light and shadow becomes a tool wielded by unseen forces, creating moments of visceral terror that linger long after the initial shock subsides. Finally, the prevalence of historical context cannot be overstated. Each location's haunting is deeply rooted in its unique past, shaped by the socio-cultural milieu of its time. The brutal medical practices embedded in the DNA of older establishments contrast sharply with the glamorous yet tragic lives immortalized in urban legends. Yet both narratives tap into broader archetypes of ambition, betrayal, and mortality, ensuring their resonance with audiences regardless of personal experience. By drawing on these universal motifs, these haunted places transform from mere buildings into living repositories of collective memory, inviting us to peer into the abyss of our shared humanity. Thus, while each establishment boasts its own distinct flavor of fright, the underlying threads connecting them reveal a tapestry rich with meaning. These patterns remind us that the supernatural is not so much about the entities themselves but the stories they tell, the echoes of lives interrupted, passions extinguished, and truths obscured. As we continue to explore these haunted locales, we find ourselves grappling not only with the specters of the past but with the timeless questions they raise about life, death, and everything in between. As we bring this chilling journey through America's most haunted places to a close, one thing becomes abundantly clear: the spirits of the past refuse to be silenced. Each creaking floorboard, each whispered name, and each fleeting shadow serves as a testament to lives lived, lost, and lingering in the spaces we dare to call haunted. These stories are more than mere campfire tales. They are fragments of history, stitched together by human emotion, tragedy, and the relentless passage of time. They remind us that the line between the living and the dead is far thinner than we might believe, and that sometimes, the most terrifying truths lie just beyond the veil. But why stop here? If these accounts have stirred something within you, a spark of curiosity, a shiver of excitement, I urge you to take the next step. Visit one of America's haunted places yourself. Walk the same halls where spirits are said to roam, stand in the rooms where history's echoes reverberate, and let the unknown brush against your senses. Whether you're a skeptic seeking proof or a believer eager to commune with the other side, these forsaken institutions offer an unparalleled opportunity to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond comprehension. There's nothing quite like experiencing the weight of decades-old despair firsthand, feeling the chill of a presence that defies explanation, or hearing the faint strains of voices from another time. And when you return, share your story. Did you feel the icy touch of a ghostly hand? Hear the faint tap of footsteps in an empty corridor? Or perhaps nothing happened at all. But isn't that silence just as intriguing? Your experiences add to the rich tapestry of lore surrounding these haunted places, ensuring their legacies endure for generations to come. Share your findings with fellow enthusiasts, document your journey, and keep the conversation alive. After all, every whisper contributes to the symphony of the supernatural. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your courage steady. The spirits are waiting.